Welcome back to Parsha and Wine. This is a Pesach edition with David and Isaac at Kosherwine.com. And this week we have the Yaacov Oryah placed by the sea. So what I'm saying now is actually, if you've ordered wine from us, it's found in our recommendations for the 4 cups for the Seder. But I'll run through with you. This is the recommendation we have for the 2nd cup, which corresponds to of the 4 words of redemption, והצלתי, and I'll take you out. So as we find Bnei Yisrael, they've left Mitzrayim, and they find themselves on the edge of the Yam Suf. They've just seen the Mitzrayim get swallowed up by the Yam, right? They fell into the sea, and the sea closed over them. And we have Bnei Yisrael standing on the edge of the sea, a place by the sea. We have them standing there, and really, for the first time, really seeing, it's not just that they got out of Egypt, it's now that Hashem has, and obviously we had the makos in Egypt, but this was sort of a final nail in the coffin for their Egypt experience. And what we find is that obviously the Seder spends a lot of time on this part of the story, in the sense that we have a machlokes in the Gemara about 3 different opinions about how many makos, how many plagues were actually visited on the Mitzrayim in the Yam, and it goes through whether you define it by Hashem's hand or his finger or the 5 fingers or whatever it is, and there's different numbers of plagues that are based on that interpretation. So we see here is that really this wine is representative. This moment, והצלתי, this cup is representative of the first real step that Bnei Yisrael takes in the harmony and the coalescing of not just an escaped slave people, but the coalescing into a single nation. This is the first real step that they take across the Midbar in that light. So let's talk a little bit about the wine here, because how does that wine then interplay with this kind of story?
I think you laid it up nicely. It's a place by the sea. This is where the Jews are at, right, when they're about to cross, and the name of the wine is actually a nice, clever play on words. So it's made with 100% Merlot, and in French, mer is the sea, and placed by the sea.
Placed by the sea
is the name of the wine. So,
which by the way, one of the reasons the Yaacov Oryah is well known for his intrinsic blends. But this one is not just. It's not just the name is a good name, obviously, but it's a single varietal.
Yeah, meaning it's uncommon for him for red wines,
which right. Dovetails into the idea of coalescing into one nation.
There you go. It's also one of the wines that all of it comes to the U.S. It doesn't get sold in Israel.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's a very small production, and we take the whole thing, we bring it here. It is my favorite red.
It's your favorite red?
I mean, obviously, every day a different favorite could occur, but for the most part, most days, this is my favorite Yaacov Oryah red.
Oh, let's taste it.
Yeah, and it's on the nose. It's just beautiful, inviting fruit.
Yeah, you're getting a lot.
Yeah,
it's a deep. You get a lot of
very nice, and it doesn't. Nothing jumps out at you like out of place. It on the nose already smells like it's got good balance, but obviously you got to give it a taste. So we're recording this back to back. So the bracha was made on the Russian River Chardonnay that we had last week.
This one really ties it all together.
So what's nice is that it's not a very deep color. I don't always, not always able to get the, to show you the color and the depth of it, but it's quite light.
Yeah, it's very light. You can see through it.
It's almost like a Barolo or a Pinot, but like a Barolo or like a grape Pinot, there's just richness in the flavor. Got great berries and plum. Let's give it another swirl.
I feel like it's definitely more an approachable Merlot. It's not normally I find Merlots to be a little bit, for me at least, a little bit much when they're single varietal. I mean, obviously, I put them into a
Right.
Bordeaux blend, or you put them into other blends, but I find that Merlot can be tough for me sometimes, and this is a phenomenal, easy drinking wine.
So it's interesting because generally speaking, and I get that a lot. People often say that Merlot is a lot for them. Typically speaking, and also depends. Merlot could be different depending on where it's grown. Merlot is considered like mid when it comes to most things. So, for example, tannin, like where a cab will be high tannin, Merlot would be considered mid. Body, flavor profile, like all these things are just like it's one notch down from cab. So typically it could be a lot more mellow than a cab. However, depending on the producer, they can add more new oak, or they could try to enrich it different ways where it can come out a little bombastic. But this one is very, very elegant. Fruit on the front, baking spice, as it lingers, long finish.
Yeah,
this
nice.
is just a really, really nice, pleasant wine. It doesn't attack you in any way, shape, or form, and it's just beautiful. So,
L'chaim, should have a good Seder, and we'll see you after Pesach.